Yeah.
Let me take you to school. But still in your shoe. When you get the looks, and they get the book. If I'm on the bag and they mad, let me cook. Stand out the way. Stand out the way.
Yeah.
I'm
staying out the way.
Stand out the way.
New music coming this year. With a 2-5. I see you, Peace Satara.
Positive vibes around me. Grind to provide for the seeds. Trying to survive in the streets. Feel like you dying to breathe. Climbing through weeds. Type of thing irony breeds. How can one line succeed? I'd rather rely on me.
I'm gonna put the link up here too.
Who could set me free? My frequency clean and the aura supreme. Spirit serene, I'm a soul machine. Composed of the drug with the coldest lean. Moving around like I know the scene. Uplifting vibe with the flow is me. Anyone close to me know it's a dream. Me mixing the crowd that don't go with the theme.
You know what I mean?
Stand out the way. Stand out the way. Success make I made.
We're gonna run it back.
Stand out the way. Stand out the way. Stand out the way. Success make I made. But I'm out the way.
Yeah. You staying out the way. Peace, Keith. I'll be back. Hold on. I'm gonna run it back for y'all though. Like, share, comment, smash that like button, that subscribe button. Make sure y'all tell y'all peoples we on right now. This year I'm not playing with y'all for 2025. Now y'all gonna hear from the boy.
Stand out the way. Stand out the way. Success bring that hate. Yo, so stand out the way. Stand out the way. Stand out the way. Success make them hate. But I'm out the way.
Over here.
Money in my neck.
Money in my neck.
Sign in my check.
Sign in my neck.
Ain't gotta flex. Money and power can buy you respect.
Nope.
Under a debt.
You gotta let them run their mouth, man. We let them run their mouth for a year.
She ain't raised a fool. My mama proud of me too. Told me that raising a tool don't finish it.
Don't let me take you to school.
But still in your shoe.
When you get the looks, and they get the book. If I'm on the bag and they mad, let me cook. Stay out the way.
Stay out the way.
That's what we doing. We stayed out the way all year. Ha. Now it's time to drop the new. But I'm out the way.
I'm prioritizing my peace with positive vibes around me. Grind to provide for the seeds. Trying to survive in the streets.
Everybody wanna know what's going on.
Type of thing irony breeds.
We stayed out the way the whole year. Now we running the hip hop conversation. What happened?
Who could set me free? My frequency clean and the aura supreme. Spirit serene, I'm a soul machine. Composed of the drug with the coldest lean. Moving around like I know the scene.
We going month by month. I'm going year in review today.
Anyone close to me know it's a dream. Me mixing the crowd that don't go with the theme.
You know what I mean? I don't do the goofy stuff. We gotta be authentic. You heard? Welcome back.
Over here.
Welcome back. It's all the way up. It's all the way up. It's all the way up. Listen, man. Listen. It's been a year. It's been a year. You know what I'm saying? And your boy been laying low, been doing this thing, as y'all can see on my Grizzly. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Your boy been on this Grizzly just laying low. You know what I'm saying? Because we're getting ready to start fresh. And I just been waiting for things to reset. You know, I had to get my algorithm straight over the year. You know what I'm saying? We had to get the algorithm right because it was crazy. They was on my heels when I started talking my talk about, you know, them boys over there dropping bombs. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, we had to switch that up. We had to switch that up big time because you know what I mean they was trying to yank your boy Page. But um I'm gonna do this year in review, man, because like every year, uh your iPhone kind of like shoot you different things at the end of the year that was going on. When they send you those reminders, those reminder photos and all that. And I was just looking, I was like, damn, I did mad stuff this year. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot this year that and a whole lot has transpired while I was doing all of that stuff this year that we got to talk about. Like a lot of stuff that was going on in the news, a lot of things that transpired. You know what I'm saying? So at the beginning of the year, the top of the year, we dropped a whole lot of videos. Jamar Milton gave y'all a whole bunch of stuff y'all had never seen before, reels, music videos and content, so on and so forth. And we're going to talk about a lot of the other stuff too. I know y'all want to talk about the Lord Jamar situation. Some people wanted to talk about the Joey Badass situation. Some people wanted to talk about, this whole thing that's going on in hip hop right now, the presidential election, all that, all that transpired this year. And I'm gonna cover a lot of that. But at the top of the year, I started off with a bunch of videos, to show y'all where we was getting ready to go in the upcoming months, um, uh, musically, So sonically, I wanted to go a different route, and I wanted to really document my journey going to Egypt this year, which was super, super awesome. So I gave y'all at least like 30 to 35 straight music videos and reels at the top of the year to show y'all what it was. And we dropped the album X shortly after that. But right after that, we went to Egypt, and that was a crazy, crazy experience. I shot a lot of my content in Egypt. I always wanted to do that, to show what can be done. You know what I'm saying? What it's supposed to look like when you're infusing culture into the sound and into the visuals and into the music and things of that aspect. So this year I really got to do that, and I'm happy about being able to do that um, for y'all because nobody has been able to duplicate it since. Everybody knows where it came from, and nobody's been able to duplicate being at those temples and showing those visuals and rapping music that goes according to what you seen. You know what I'm saying? And then we dropped the Build or Destroy, the first AI music video ever. Yeah. We dropped Build or Destroy. Build or Destroy is the first hip hop period AI video period to ever be done. There was no real people in the video. It was all animated by artificial intelligence, and we made sure that we tapped into even what everybody's talking right now, the FBA, Foundational Black Americans. We tapped into that and Afrofuturism in that record. The brother Lord Jamar from Brand Nubian came to me and he sent me several packs of dope ass beats that he produced and wanted me to hop on one. And the first song, the first record that he gave me was that Build or Destroy. That was the first joint that we did. So I was excited about being able to do that. And being able to work with a legend, you know what I'm saying? An authentic hip hop legend. Um, that was my first time really delving into something like that, of that endeavor where we're merging two different generations of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Creatively, it was dope because me and Lord Jamar, we connect on a deeper level than just hip hop, but more so intellectually, and spiritually we connect. So being able to work with somebody that really has your best interest at heart as far as putting out your music and allowing you to say what you want to say and not trying to censor you or trying to do anything that's like inauthentic, that's major. For somebody like me, I thrive off of authenticity. So if I'm doing something that ain't authentic to me and myself, I don't feel right. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just not my thing. There are artists who do that, and there's a lane for that. And I can even appreciate that in some spaces and in certain time frames in history like that when we needed something like that, you know what I'm saying? Just to be spacey. But for me, y'all always know, like, I like to do things that's super authentic. I don't like to play around with it. So Lord Jamar allows me to be able to do that. I mean, this man, let me see. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull up some pictures too while we talk, just to make things uh, a little bit more visual for y'all to be able to understand how we did this. Because I want to show y'all how real um the situation actually is. Let me see if I can share some of this. Um, just bear with me, family. We coming back. We coming back, and I made the vow, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I told y'all that eventually I was going to do it, but uh, you know, coming back to YouTube, um, seems to be the play for me right now. Um, I really want to make that known that if I'm going to go live, it's going to be on YouTube. So if you're looking for me, um, this is where you know to find me. You know, uh, aside from Instagram, y'all already know that I've been holding out Instagram for a pretty decent amount of time. Um, I'm just trying to find some pictures here. It's difficult. Bear with me, okay? Because you know what it is, a cell phone. The cell phones nowadays, they make their pictures. They have this default thing where they change it to HEIC. I don't know why they do this, but they do. Um, it's a format that computers don't really read that well. Okay, so I'm just gonna see if I can pull. Let's see if it'll pull this one up. So just to show y'all how really well it was. You know, uh, I didn't know Lord Jamar that well. When we were starting to make, our music together, we were learning each other at the time, and the brother came to my crib. You know what I'm saying? And we shot the music video there. This is right before I left for Egypt, right before, he entrusted me with his father's ashes to do my first death doula ceremony over in Kemet on the Nile River, and we came through, we played some chess. Um, and everything that y'all seen in that music video was real. Like none of that was scripted. We were really actually having a chess game and sipping, uh, while a bro was there, and shooting the music video wasn't even orchestrated. It was like, yo, you know what? You here? We might as well just shoot this. You know what I mean? It was like that. That wasn't the plan. He was supposed to kind of like drop off the ashes, and we started chopping up a little bit, and then we ended up shooting the video for Build or Destroy. And this is one of the candid moments that La caught. He shot this photo of us just having a good time, kicking it, and we were having an actual chess game, a real actual chess game while I was shooting the music. I won't say who won. I'll let him tell you who won. But we were having a dope ass chess game, while we were doing this. And it's typical of, you couldn't write it any better. If you took Jamar Milton and you put Lord Jamar and put him in the same room, what's the first thing that got to happen with two cards in the room like that? We got to sit down. We got to play chess, my guy. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't script it any better. You know what I'm saying? That's just hard. You know? You know? Aside from doing music, that's fun. I do that every day. It's like a job for me, but ain't too many that can say they sat down with a hip hop legend and played a game of chess. You feel what I'm saying? So that was literally the first thing that we did. If people want to know, you know what I'm saying, what the relationship is like and what the dynamic is like, that was literally the first thing. Now hold on, family. What I'm also going to do, I'm going to put into the feed when we start getting to the other parts of this. Like if anybody want to come on here, I'm gonna put the StreamYard down there. I got it in the comments. I don't know if y'all can actually copy and paste that, dog. If y'all can, but whatever. I'm gonna put the StreamYard down there for when we start delving in. And anybody want to chime in, you can always chime in, or just be on the feed and sit if you want. We're gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start opening up the panel for people to be able to utilize my YouTube to say what it is that they want to say. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just let y'all come on here and bang out because I don't always have a whole lot of stuff to say to y'all. I'll be trying to live it out, but sometimes y'all might need the network, or y'all might want to use my network or my platform to get off what you want to get off. So that's one of the things we're going to be doing in 2025. I'm going to be giving y'all an outlet to use my platform how you see fit. You know what I'm saying? We'll set the disclaimer, everything ain't going to be my views, and you know what I'm saying, like that. But we'll allow y'all to do y'all thing. So boom, yeah. So we shot the music video uh for Build or Destroy, and we put that out, tested the water, see where people was at with AI, and then before you knew it, AI just took off. Now everybody's on it. People are using it for music videos, people are using it for commercials, they're seeing the value in it, so on and so forth. Um, so that's always been a really cool thing. So this is that was January. Now let's get into February. What happened in February? February is when I took off to go to Egypt. Let's see if I can pull up a picture here of that. Many of you got to see what I did, you know, in Egypt as far as the music videos and things of that nature. But the journey into Egypt and what I did in Egypt, some of the things that I saw and experienced was far more uh crazier than you would ever dream of. You know what I'm saying? It was like it was a dream come true for me. Going to Egypt and experiencing it in that manner. Hold on, let me pull up another photo for y'all. And we're gonna keep it simple. I ain't gonna go too deep in it, but I do want to show y'all just give you some visuals, for those who are new and don't know who Jamar Milton is. If you're new to this channel, um, gotta put y'all on. So, and I like to show and prove. I don't just say things. So bear with your boy. So we can create some visuals here. Come on. I really hate the switch. You know what else we got to talk about? Um, we got to talk about them UFOs and shit, man. You feel me? We got to talk about the UFOs, UAPs, all the other stuff they've been distracting us with. This year has really been crazy now that I think about it. Really been nuts. And I feel like they're just unrolling this stuff. Like, but we're gonna talk about that. Let me first find this shit. Anyway, y'all know I already went to Egypt, but um, and the other thing is these updates. So they've given a lot of updates on these computers and these Macs, and it's crazy just trying to keep up with it. The way they move things around. I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick of it. I was tired. Thinking about maybe just showing my entire screen, but folks be too reckless to do that. So I don't do that. Niggas be on here talking crazy. Be like, oh, you're. I had somebody try to crack jokes on my air conditioner. Like, it was the most random shit. They was like, yo, your air conditioner is kind of dirty. It was like, bro, I think it's just wow. We got to do better. All right. So, there's a picture of me in Egypt. Okay, this is when I first arrived, like literally just got off the bus, off the plane, and off the bus. First place we went um, was Giza and some of the other temples like nearby. Um, but this trip for me was the pinnacle. It was dope because I was alone. I went there to perform. I was booked to perform for Hoppy, and this trip was amazing because I got to be in my own element in my own space and study. And I love that. Like when I travel, I don't like out too much outside influences as to what I'm seeing, thinking, and rendering. You know, so because sometimes like I be expecting me from other people. You know, and in spaces like this and in learning environments, other people can't have too much influence on what it is that I'm seeing and what it is that I know. You know, sometimes the experience can get watered down because you're not doing all the things that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's not that I don't like traveling with family and things of that nature. It's just that in comparison to traveling alone, when I'm traveling with family, I'm on daddy, and partner and safety mode, you know. So I'm not really thinking about myself and what I need to get out of an experience when I move like that. So this one was very, very different because I spent a significant amount of time in Egypt, really absorbing and rendering it how I know how to render it, you know. And that for me is what catapulted me, uh, and catapulted the rest of the year, for me, doing that 9 day stretch, performing on the Nile, performing my death doula ceremony, um, and being able to go down into Aswan, further south, and see the tribe that belongs to me. Going into Aswan, I did not expect to be as overwhelmed as I was, uh, coming out of there. Um, Seeing the shrine of Ptah for the first time, seeing the for the first time the pyramid text, which I've always wanted to see, uh, for real. That was crazy. Meeting new. Oh, I flew in a hot air balloon. I shot a reel in the hot air balloon. Like who do we? There's that hasn't been done. It just hasn't been done. Hip hop and hot air balloons, uh, just have never crossed paths before. Uh, so being able to do that was super dope too. You know, um, it was a lot of first times this year, and it started off like that in February. Let me see if I got a picture of that hot air balloon. Uh, you know, I don't know if anybody's ever been in a hot air balloon. If you haven't, that's an experience all in itself too. But I did get that experience to be able to do that. So rightfully so, I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to definitely shoot a reel. Like this me in the hot air balloon right here. So I got to be able to do that. I think Tashi was with me on that. Shout out to her. We all got to hop in that balloon. You know what I'm saying? It was about, I don't know, 6 or 7 of us, and we flew all over Egypt, man. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, the hot air balloon says King Tut on it, written on it. You'll never see something like this in the United States. You'll never see a hot air balloon with your ancestor's name written on it flying through the sky. Like it's just not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So I had to document it. I had to get that on film. I had to show people, you know, what's really going on over there. So being able to do that was super, super crazy. That also happened in February. A lot of stuff that uh, happened in that month. Also being able to travel with who I travel with, you know, my brother Mfadishi. If y'all don't know who Mfadishi is, definitely you need to look him up. He's one of the top scholars, the Kemetic scholars, in the nation. He speaks fluent Metaneta. Dude he's fully tapped in. You know what I'm saying? So being able to travel with him and him being able to reinforce some of the things that I know and some of the things that I've been researching was a lot of fun as well. You know, like I said, I like to do things authentically, and a lot of time, it's not my first rodeo going to Egypt, but and for some people it may not be their first, but you want to go and travel with somebody that knows what the hell it is that they're looking at, and can render it properly and let you know what it is that you're looking at if you don't know what it is that you're looking at. A lot of times we just go into it willy nilly and we just feel we can do whatever, not realizing that there's a story behind everything that we're seeing, all of these symbols, and it's not just what they call it, art. It's a language. So understanding that part of the game is super super important for me, and being able to tell that story is super important for me. So that was another thing that we did. What else? What else? All right, let's go into March. We're gonna work our way here because it was a crazy year. In March, I pretty much just hit the ground running. Um, for some reason, and I don't know, leaving Egypt, leaving Kemet, I had this crazy feeling and vibe of just like health and wellness, to where I started to gain a lot of weight, a lot of pounds, just like working out and what I mean, getting into my body and stuff like that in my temple. Um, so immediately from there, I don't know, I gained maybe like 30 pounds coming from off of there, all of the weight that I had lost from COVID and stuff like that. And as soon as I got back, I hit the ground running and started doing shows. I went on tour immediately after coming home, you know. And that was a lot of that was, I would say, it was the hardest time, but the most fun. Uh because I'm on the road, I'm doing what I want to do, I'm feeling great. I'm just coming from Egypt, and I started tapping into a different space a lot. I started attracting a lot of different things and a lot of different relationships. Um, I got in tune with my brother Rock Marciano, who's literally like one of the greatest rappers of all time. We developed a really dope relationship during that time. Um, and ended up going to a couple of his shows, kicking in with him, Lord Jamar, and our relationship really started to mesh, during that time as well. You know, um, this year was really really crazy for me. Um, that's February. Then going into March, I'm literally for family. I'm literally just scrolling through my photos and just looking at all this stuff that I've done. Um, Going into March, uh, that's when I hit 50,000 subscribers finally on Instagram, which was something that I always wanted to do. I never really had set no goals for that platform until um, I started to see where things was going. I started to see what I was doing, and when they started shadow banning me and stuff like that, I was like, okay, let me set some parameters here and see where I'm trying to go with it. And I just wanted to hit 50K. If I hit 50K, 50 people of consciousness, I think that's pretty dope. To be able to affect people in that manner, just talking about what I'm talking about and its authenticity. Because a lot of times you got to water your stuff down to be inauthentic for it to really hit the masses the way that you want to. And me not compromising and me standing on my on 10 toes down on what it is that I know, for me that was pretty dope. So hitting that 50K, that meant a lot to me. And then from there we had in April was the eclipse, okay? Um, which in my opinion was a huge shift here uh in the world in general. I felt like a lot of things shifted during that time that people didn't really notice, from the sun to the weather, um, you know, to even how people were just acting in terms of consciousness and things of that nature. I mean, some people thought they was gonna get superpowers. You feel what I'm saying? And that part too. We're gonna be doing away with all that spooky stuff. Even in spirituality, there's a lot of spookism that has to be taken away. Like you just gotta get. We can't progress until we get past the spookism. It got to be real. You know what I'm saying? So like those individuals that was talking that superpower stuff, they're not talking it now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just think about it. They was only talking that during that time. People was talking about the eclipse and what they're gonna do, and then as soon as the eclipse is over, like they just get quiet. You know what I'm saying? That part. It's like it's either right and exact, or it's just it's hearsay, and we got to do away with that too. You know what I'm saying? Things got to be right and exact, and things we have science and we can measure certain things and what's going on. So that was going on in April. Then we got May. May, I'm still hitting the ground running. I did a huge show in New York at the Delancey, and it was for CJ Fly's album release party, which was a really dope show. Like I can't tell you, like you don't know how gratifying it is when you are booked for a show. Um, People have you as a headliner or for wherever it is, and you're selling tickets and it sells out. Um, that the feeling of selling out a show is amazing. And I know like people talk, in the country music, oh, sell out, sell out. No, I'm in the music world and sell out is a good thing. That means you're putting asses in seats and people want to come see you and they're spending money. And sometimes we say a lot of things that are anti-progression. No, like you kind of want to sell out. You don't want to ever book a venue, even if it was for a lecture and it not sell out. Like you want to sell out. That's a good thing. Okay. So we sold that show out, and I did my show like I normally did my run, and we were talked about, you know what I'm saying? People were saying like, we were one of the most enjoyable parts of the show, and I was on a roster full of individuals who don't necessarily do the type of music that I do, right? So that was going down. That's what went down in April, and then um, May things really got crazy because um, in May is when I tapped into um, the DMT journey. May was when I not only tapped into DMT and started dealing with ayahuasca and different medicinal plants and things of that nature, but I also was booked for the Apollo Theater to perform at the Apollo Theater um, in May. And that was, oh man, like that's the pinnacle like of my career to be able to come home, y'all, and perform at the Apollo Theater here in Harlem, New York. I mean, I couldn't get no bigger than Egypt. I always said to myself, like, how could I outdo performing in Egypt? You know what I'm saying? Like, how you do anything bigger than that? Because my only competition is me. These industry cats is not competition to me. Lyrically, they can't stand next to me. They can't hold a candle next to me. You know, and I don't compete with niggas' pockets. So my only competition has always been myself. And I said, how can I outdo Egypt? Like what's the pinnacle of that? And the only thing that could come close to that was performing at the Apollo Theater in Harlem, New York, alongside Five Mics, Jim Jones, Capella Gray. Like these are headliners that really, you know, do their thing. So being able to stand amongst those guys and hold my own too was super super dope because it's records that I created in my head, y'all. Like and I sat down with Lord Jamar and he produced it and we made something special. The Illuminati record, not for nothing, that shit rings the fuck off.
To this day, to this day.
Illuminati rings off. You know what I'm saying? And being able to perform that record was just dope. You know what I'm saying? Um, in the same fashion, uh, it was such a huge year. You're right, John. You know what I'm saying? Like it was literally like in terms of my musical career, the biggest year that I've had thus far, without a doubt. Without a doubt. You know. Um, Seeing the reaction of people on the road, people who know your stuff, like that feeling is it's incredible when you know that you sat in your room and you were just expressing yourself, and you affected somebody somewhere on the other side of the planet and they know your stuff word for word. Like you can't take that from nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be telling you, like you gotta dream big, you know what I'm saying?
Think big, bitch.
You gotta think big, you gotta dream big, because you never know who's listening, you never know who's watching, whatever it is that you're working on, whatever it is that you're trying to do. If you see the vision and you see that is valuable to the world, you got to stand on that. You dig? So um, that happened in April. Going into May, and then in May I ended up uh, in uh, in Atlanta. Teamed up with my guy Soul Messiah, and we shot the video, the reel for Illuminati. And we had that circulating all over Instagram. People just couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing me there. So that happened. Then that's when we actually went on tour. At that moment in time, that was May, still going on into June. So we killed May, going into June with the tour. Okay. And then after that, I come home and we have Fubu. We had Fubu Radio hit me up because uh, they dropped Fubu Radio. So Fubu was one of those companies when I was growing up that was the way. Fubu was it. They was the black entrepreneurs. They showed that it could be done, and they gave us representation in the fashion world. So linking up with Keith Perron Jr. and the team over there, that was crazy too. I got to meet George Floyd's brother. Um, we hit it off right away. Because I had marched on behalf of George Floyd in 2020 like it was nobody's business. And being able to bump into him in the party and, and him gravitating towards me and what I was doing and stuff like that, that was cool too, to know that my work wasn't in vain and to get in my flowers for that work that I put in on behalf of somebody that I didn't even know, anybody that marched that year, anybody that marched. It was like we was marching for ourselves. So that felt good to be able to chop it up, and I'm still have a really, really good relationship with Terrence Floyd, George Floyd's brother. Big up to him. That's his blood brother. You know what I'm saying? So being tapped in with him was really cool, and having that conversation as to why people felt a certain way about the bro. Um, we wanted him to win, and we wanted his voice to be heard. So that was really cool for me, and doing that at the Fubu radio station, and them showing me all that love, and doing the interview was really cool. And then in June, I did a show right here in Long Island, um, um, a local show, and it was uh, about Black empowerment. Which was really, really cool. I got to do that too. Um, we'll keep it pushing. We're gonna get into some crazy stuff in a sec. July, we did a show in Brooklyn at the African Arts Festival. That was my first time performing at that festival. I always wanted to perform at that festival. It's always been one I had my eye on because it fits my demographic, it fits my family of people. Um, so being able to do that show here in Brooklyn, New York, uh, with everybody there, you know, my people, home, you know, that was a lot. It was a surreal experience because it's like one of those things that you can see before it happens, but it's like you be like, nah, you know what I mean? And then when you end up there, it's like, what the right? Like how did this happen? So, a lot of the things, a lot of my goals and dreams, I keep silent. You know what I'm saying? Like my goal and my dream was not to perform at the biggest stage in the world. It was to perform for my people. You know what I'm saying? Like my community, which was the conscious community. Those are the things that I look forward to. So doing that was amazing and incredible. You know, um, so keeping it pushing. That's July. Let's get into August. See what August is talking about. Oh, okay. So then August is when things really turned up. Okay. Because in August is when we got introduced to this woman named Kamala Harris. We got to get the full laugh out on this one. Because in August, you know, is when we were first introduced to this woman on a global scale, and them saying that this woman is possibly going to be running for president. And it was at this point where I started to delve in knowledge wise as to who she was, her history, her background, and started to realize the shadiness in this woman and her ordeals. And um, I took a consensus. I made a song about Donald Trump, and I also made a song about Kamala Harris, and I wanted to see which one would take root. And the song that was anti Kamala, which was called Kamala Ain't Black, really took root. And black people really started promoting it. I couldn't understand why, but it told me that, this country was moving in a different direction. And I knew that right off the rip. Once I started dropping the records, I knew, like, okay, I don't think this woman is going to win, and I knew that early on, and you could tell from what I was dropping. And people were upset during that time. I remember, and I had to wear a tough skin. Me and Lord Jamar, we had to wear a tough skin because black folk were being bamboozled, and on a large scale. And sometimes you have to be that warning. Hey, like, hey, listen, I don't care what all the rest of the black people that look like us are telling you. They're wrong. Like, the country is moving in a different direction, and you don't have any control over where it's about to go. You need to be vertically integrated into where it's going to go. And some people didn't listen. Some people listened. Some people did. And they found out real quick. They found out real quick why Jamaar Milton is who he is and why Lord Jamar is who he is. Because we stand on truth, we stand 10 toes down, and even as much as we wanted to stick with black people on this and do what we normally do, we knew that this was in the wrong direction, and the country was going to end up leaving us out of the mix and behind. And something has to be said. This woman was trying to bamboozle y'all, and y'all couldn't see it. The conscious community was lost. Like, it was just like Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. And it's like, yo, we didn't sign up just to be Democrats. We're looking for freedom. It don't matter which party is coming from, like, for real. And not to say that we're gonna get it from either party, but we just know that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop playing with me. That ain't it. Man. Yeah, you see, I was with Lord Jamar the whole way, and it felt like it was me and him against the world. You know what I'm saying? Because, our community is filled with nothing but black people. So, when a large demographic, and you can look at the numbers, when you got like a large demographic of them still hanging on to Kamala's nuts, it's like, where are we going to go with this? Because y'all confused. You know what I'm saying? So the best thing that we can do is say our own voice, and that's the first time y'all saw me do a whole onslaught on TikTok, right? Y'all don't see Jamaar Milton on TikTok almost ever, right? But I started delving into TikTok, and TikTok was the saving grace because it was an untapped platform for me. So when I dropped my first viral video on TikTok, it was the video of Judge Joe Brown talking about Kamala Harris, right? In all truth and in all honesty. And we just so happened to be in Atlanta where Kamala was renting black folk to shake their ass on behalf of her campaign. She was renting folks like Meg Thee Stallion and what's the other one? Sexy Red and all these, and we was blowing it up. You know what I'm saying? So, we had to make sure that we just keep it right, exact, and honest. You know what I'm saying? So all that was going down, and we made it very, very known. Like, the thing about Jamaar Milton is I'm not gonna sit here, and because there's a lot of people that go one way, feel like I need to go that way. If I stand on something firmly, I don't care. Like I said, where everybody's going, I stand 10 toes down, and everybody ain't built like that. Let's just say that. Let's just say that everybody's not built to stand 10 toes down, and sometimes they're afraid of the status quo. They're afraid of what people are going to say about them, so they don't stand 10 toes down on any ideology. It's really just a trend in what everybody else is doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not that guy. I'll take my lumps, I'll take my losses, I'll take my L's if I'm wrong, but I'm rarely wrong. It's what it is. As conspiracy theorists that they call us, We have been correct about everything from the shutdown to the COVIDs to, there's nothing we've been wrong to the diddler. We're going to talk about Diddy too. Like, we were right and we've been right for a long time. And we have to sit back and sometimes and listen to people who are wrong be the loudest. You know what I'm saying? We have to sit back and watch people who are wrong be the loudest. Okay. Bless Up said, you ever think we can get a sit down with Lord Jamar and Fat Joe? Listen, Lord Jamar is not a hater. Okay. Lord Jamar is not a hater. He would sit down with any one of them. As a matter of fact, Lord Jamar already called for a sit down. They were talking about what the origins of hip hop were, and Lord Jamar called for a sit down between KRS, all these different individuals, Melly Mel, or whatever people that they wanted to get, the origins of hip hop, whoever you wanted to get, Lord Jamar literally set the alarm and was like, yo, I'm sending it out. I'm sending a decree to all my hip hop heads, the old heads. Let's have a sit down. They did not want to do it. They just want to go off online on their own tangents and say their lies without having to sit in rooms with people that are 100% know that and know what's going on, people that are authentic. That's the truth. It's the same thing with this Billy Carson situation when Billy Carson got exposed. They want to yell as much as they can on their own platforms with their own people and beguile their own people. But when it's time to put everybody in the room, they run. They run. Or they start slandering your name. That's what they do. They're going to do one of the two. Because they can't sit in a room with truth. A lie can't sit in a room with truth. So what a lie does is a lie goes off on its own and starts telling its own lies. You understand what I'm saying? That's what liars do. Okay. And I'm willing to answer all questions. Like I don't shy away from questions. Okay. Bless Up said, why does X not supporting Lord Jamar? And I spoke about this on another platform. So when you look at Brand Nubian is it's like, look at it like TLC. It's like TLC. Crazy, sexy, cool, right? You got 3 different personalities. They're not all the same human being. They don't move on one accord like that. You're talking about a dream team of hip hop artists that came together and they all have their own different backgrounds. See, Sadat is more of like the hood part of this. He representing, that's the bro. Like y'all see me out with these guys. I know these guys personally. Okay. But if you wanted to get like rawness, stuff like that, like street kind of activity, that's what you go to Sadat for that. Sadat X. He's the type that when we're having the show, he's going straight to the bar, he's going to get a drink. You know what I'm saying? Puba on the other end, he's more cool, calm, collective, like he sit back, he chill. That's his personality. You know what I'm saying? That's his personality. He's a cool brother. Through and through, no matter what's going on, Puba is going to be cool almost to the point where like he's too cool, right? It's like, yo, like the world's falling apart. Puba cool. Trust and believe. You know what I'm saying? And yes, Billy Carson is still in hiding right now. But Puba is the cool personality. Lord Jamar is militant and he's like me. Now just take me and throw me in the mix, right? Now, at times, all 3 of these personalities, depending upon the scenario, is going to crash in a different scenario against each other. But music brings people together. So when you get to know them, you understand why X is still, because X is still, he's a stand-up nigga. He's still going to stand on his own 10 toes. You know what I'm saying? All of them will say exactly how they feel standing on their 10 toes. It doesn't mean they're opposed to their man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not how it works. It's bros still. You ever meet 2 brothers and they just polar opposites, but they still bros? You understand? So people from the outside looking in who don't know the relationship will just make stuff up and be like, well, maybe he's wrong because Sadat. No, a lot of times Lord Jamar is 100% correct and Sadat X is 1,000% wrong. I've seen it. I've seen the scenario. I've seen different times when, Brothers could be a little bit saucy on stage. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And the other two is like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? But they still bros. Just understand that. Like, it's still love. Like, no matter what. Everybody got pros and cons. Everybody got flaws, and everybody has advantages and strengths. So that's why you seeing that there. The more when you know them, you know what's up. But if you're just on the outside looking in, it can look like however you want it to look like. And they can make it look like that especially when there's no answers. When people aren't answering these questions, or they're not being asked directly to Lord Jamal or Sadat. You know what I'm saying? Best believe there's going to be another show, another brand new being shown. You're going to see them all together. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that goes. Yes, and that's exactly why they are who they are. That's why they legends. Because when we can agree to disagree, we can get further, right? And that's the type of people that I run with. That's why I don't rock with people. Dude put in the feed. He said 19 Keys seems cool. I know you have an issue with him. That's my issue with Keys. That's my issue with 19 Keys. Because when he disagree, right? He goes on his little thing, his little campaign, and then he'll even try to steal your intellectual property. He'll try and do all sorts of stuff to ruin you. He'll throw his stoner and hide his hand. You know what I'm saying? But as you can see, I'm in a pool of people who are strong-minded individuals who stand on things, who stand on business. And we have to agree to disagree. And that's what we do. Could you imagine, like, if Lord Jamar was like what they say they are, could you imagine a person like me and him going tit for tat back and forth? It would be a full-blown blowout if that was the case. No, we are brothers who know how to sit down reasonably and honorably and sit down and have a discussion and say, you know what, I agree to disagree. Lord Jamar believes that he's an indigenous foundational Black American. I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to necessarily that, I'm an indigenous being. He subscribes to that, right? Everybody know I push Kemet all the way. I push Africa all the way, right? How are we able to be in the same room? How do we have even the same name in hip hop? Use your brain. In hip hop, that's not allowed, right? We both of us have the same exact name. That's my government name. That's his government name. You see what I'm saying? If we weren't two regional human beings, we would not be able to come together like we do. But people will try to push it and make it seem like otherwise. Those are the ones who are the liars and the ones who are not agreeable. Those are the ones who can't do this. You see what I'm saying? So I tell it like it is. When I tell my story, when I tell my key story, that's the only story I got because it's the only dealings I got with this man. It's him calling his phone, beefing with me about my stance on something. I can't chop it up any other way. That's exactly how it happened. You know what I'm saying? And until he's able to talk about it man to man, that's what it is. It's two middle fingers. I'm a real nigga at the end of the day. I don't play those games. What you see is what you get. And I think that's what people like about Jamaar Milton is because they know, like, don't expect nothing crazy because we in public or the cameras is on. I'm the same. I think you can tell. I'm the same person when the cameras is on versus when the cameras is off. I think y'all can tell that and y'all can feel that. Who you think is more likely to switch up? Me or any of the people that I'm talking about or any of the people that are opposed? Who you think is more slightly to switch up in front of a camera and fake it and parlay with y'all? That's not me. That's not Jamaar Milton. You see what I'm saying? And people might not like it. Some people want me to switch up, and because I won't, they get frustrated. You know what I mean? For the sake of public. That's not me. That's why I don't really get along even with YouTube, because I'm not finna fake for y'all. I'm not finna dress this up any old kind of way for y'all. You see what I'm saying? The most y'all get is this backdrop right here. And that's about it. I ain't finna, you know what I mean? Fake nothing. Because when you hop into a room for the real, all that stuff gets exposed. All of it gets exposed when you hop in a room with a real one. I mean, shout out Chevrolet. I see you. There are a lot of things that I do behind the scenes that y'all probably won't even know about. People would just have to tell you how real I am. They just have to tell you. You got to be in interaction with me to know how real I am. It goes behind the scenes, but that's what it is. Bless up Kev said, freedom or death, we shall all be moved. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so that was September. In September, we had Kamala Harris. And I truly believe between me, Lord Jamar, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones, and Judge Joe Brown, we're the reason why Donald Trump is in office right now. I guarantee you that. They're going to get mad. They're going to get mad, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Cheryl Lee said, never known you to switch up in the last 8 years I've known you. You see what I'm saying? Since I came on the scene, yo, I've been consistent. And I've been standing on my two. Even when it's not fashionable, even when it wasn't cool, right? When Billy Carson was up or when Keys was up and I was telling y'all about these dudes, it wasn't fashionable to me to say what I was saying, was it? All right. Now it's fashionable because all the results have come out and people starting to tell their stories. But I've been telling y'all that. I told y'all that one story in the beginning and I left it at that. And I what? Stayed on my deans, kept doing me. That's it. You know what I mean? Because it ain't got nothing to do with me. I just tell you what it happened. That's that. Because I only like authenticity. If it ain't authentic, I don't even want to talk to you. I don't want to be in the same room with nobody that's inauthentic. So boom. Then we go to the election. You know, all that's going on with the election. I ended up doing a Trump rally for the first time in my life. I pulled up, right? Everybody was talking them crazy about Donald Trump and Donald Trump has the smaller rallies. Remember they was telling y'all all of that? Who was the only scholar who pulled up though? I'll wait. Who was the only scholar y'all know that actually pulled up to a Trump rally? Okay. But they was on here talking crazy like they knew what the hell they was talking about and what was going to happen with this election. Were they not? And they were telling you that Kamala was winning and she was going to smash this dude and everybody was waking up and Donald Trump's rallies are the smaller rallies and niggas was keying it up and laughing and right? Y'all remember? Because I'm never going to forget. Huh? Tell it. Bless Up Kev says, I voted for Cammy, but realized everybody wanted Trump on election night. So hold on. Because when you look at the numbers, it shows you that the people, even the people that was telling you which route to go down, even those people lied to you and voted for Trump. That's what the numbers showed. Those were astronomical numbers. So the people that was on here telling y'all you need to be voting for Kamala were secretly knowing they was going to vote for Trump. That's what the numbers show. Black men gracefully bowed out. We already knew. We not agreeing with the queens this time. We already knew that. Black men had to take lashes. This was all going on in the month of September to October. I did not forget. Black men such as myself, Lord Jamaar, we had to stand 10 toes down, not only just for ourselves, but on behalf of black men and against black women who were voting for Kamala. We had to take a stand. Because we were telling the truth, regardless of what. It don't matter. The truth got to be told. So we had to stand up against, it was seemingly like against the whole world. And the whole world came against black men because we were standing 10 toes down, knowing we ain't about to jump in no BS. And the election night, quickly, folks found out, Bless Up Kev said he was one of them. He found out on election night that he was wrong and that everybody was on a whole different lane. He got bamboozled. You know what I'm saying? Bless Up Kev said, I was never for Trump, but look, he the prez. You see what I'm saying? So now now watch this, Kev. This is the question that I have for you. Now that the results are in, does it matter? Does it matter that you wanted Kamala to be president? Does it matter? It absolutely does not. Donald Trump is now president. So now you have to now make do with what happened. You could have been ahead of the game early on. We were telling you that she's not going to win, right? Exactly. It doesn't matter now. The only thing that matters is you getting as quickly as possible acclimated to where this is going because you don't have control over that, right? So that's what it is. My boy just heard my boy, another boy tapped in right here. Black Hoodie fam said, "What up, bro? What up, bro? Wait, what up, bro? You probably don't remember me, but I used to kick it with Noah back in the day. Respect and many blessings, brother. Respect to you as well. Shout out to you. Shout out to the brother Noah. See what I'm saying? So ask about me. Even folks from the hood know. You know what I'm saying? Jamaar Milton is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Like God, it's the God. I don't switch up. I keep it a bean. You know what I'm saying? I tell the truth as much as I possibly can. That's what I stand on. Authenticity and truth from what I know. You know, and I don't tell my truth. I try to tell the truth, you know, as much as I can, you know, until I see otherwise, you know, as if things change and it change. But, you know, I try to keep it a bean. Okay, so September was crazy because that was the rat race of politician of political views and things that's going on. So Jamar Milton popped up at a Trump rally to make sure I knew what was what. And it was from that moment on, from the moment I went to a Trump rally for the first time right here in Long Island, New York, that was the moment that I knew that Donald Trump was 100% going to win that election. And I let the world know. Those who listened. Some persecuted or tried to persecute me. And those are the ones who were on the losing side and who were very, very upset on election night. Okay. So that happened in September going into October. October was when I linked up with Judge Joe Brown and we got that footage and we did over 60 million views. Yeah. We did over 60 million views on that clip of Judge Joe Brown calling Kamala Harris the H word. Okay, which I subscribe to 100%. She was definitely the living reflection of that. I got no reserves for that. And that's another thing too that we got to discuss too, you know. Well, that's a later date. I don't want to go too far left. But in any case, that happened in the month of September going into October. Okay. And then in October, it was a crazy campaign race, you know, of just back and forth, you know, meme to meme, video to video of people showing what it is that they felt was going to happen with the election with Kamala and Trump. And people just saying, you know, how they felt, you know, as to what's going on. A lot of bickering, a lot of people going back and forth. But also during that time, was I would say the P. Diddy case was coming to a head. The P. Diddy case. And once again, when the P. Diddy situation came along this year, the first thing that I did was I went to the historical record. I went right to the court documents. You know, I don't like to speculate on things that intense when you're talking about somebody, when you're talking about their family, when you're talking about kids, when you're talking about right or wrong doing. You know, I went right to the court documents and read what was going on with Cassie at first and all that type of stuff leading up to these events. So I try to handle things with care, like I said, authenticity, decency, and respect. So this was no different dealing with the Puffy situation. But one thing that I also do when I get my conclusion, I stand 10 toes down on it. And I might even laugh and joke because I already know where it's going to go because I did my due diligence. And that's why I'm so confident about some of the things that I say, y'all. It's because I do the work, right? Beforehand, before I speak on it, I do the leg work, I do the shadow work so that when I do speak on it, I have a pretty good consensus as to what's going to happen to the point where I can even speak sarcastically or laugh and joke about it because I already did the work. When you can't do that, then you approach it from a fear aspect. So then so that people that's laughing and joking, you might think that they're just, you know, conceited or whatever. And that's only because you haven't done the work, you know. But when you do the work, you would quickly, you know, end up on their side, or B, even understand their confidence as to why they feel that they feel the way they feel. And I'm one of those guys, you know, I don't do it to necessarily bring information. That's kind of my character. I'm kind of a sarcastic dude. Anybody that knows me. So when I see something and I know like, okay, this is dumb. I'm not even finna play with y'all. Like I'm gonna crack jokes about it and we're gonna have a good time with it. Like I'm really gonna ream it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened with this situation. With the Diddy situation, once I saw the goddamn oil and all of that, I was like, okay, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Clearly, there's something in this oil. There's something to this oil. I immediately just started just going in and laughing about it because I found it just completely hilarious. The internet, that's what the internet is for. We're gonna talk and we're gonna make our comments. So the Diddy situation, I just find it crazy. Not the victims and what they had gone through and anything like that. That's a very serious thing. But the way somebody who violates people, like what you're looking at is a bully, finally getting their just due. And I always found it hilarious when you see a bully get their just due because they're always like the weakest folks you could ever meet on the planet.
To this day.
Bullies, like they switch up. Like you put a bully in a headlock, and when you got them, like you can always tell you got them because they turn just like super, super soft. I don't like bullies. And Diddy was bullying a lot of people in the game for a really, really long time. And he's been getting away with bullying a lot of people in the game for a long time. Not just women, men also, And those are things that gotta be spoken on. At some point in time, like you're gonna get your karma, bro. Like it ain't no way in hell you're gonna just keep getting away with doing these things. Like, and even to the point where they saying he may have allegedly murdered some people and stuff like that. Like, nah, I'm gonna speak on that, bro. Nobody's scared over here. Nobody's scared. And if it's our time to go, it's our time to go. You only live once, but the truth going to be told. I don't care if I just have to spark the brain of somebody who goes into full-blown investigation mode. It's too many lies. We've been living on way too many lies. And I'm very, very passionate about that. Like, just stop lying on here. Stop getting on this damn book. Stop getting on this damn tube and this phone and lying. You know what I'm saying? We're not finna play this with y'all. Okay. So that was October going into November. Okay. Going into November. And then in November, I did my final, well, at the end of November, rather, I should say. We're in December now. Leaving out of November. In December, I did my final show here in Brooklyn, New York.
To this day.
And that show was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I had my sis, Alewa, shout out to her, Alewa, perform alongside with me. And we headlined in Brooklyn, New York. And it was an amazing, amazing, amazing show. Lord Jamar pulled up amongst others. And amongst the homies, we had the homies pull up as well. Shout out to all my local cats too. So we had them there, and I was able to put a couple of people on. You know what I'm saying? Bless Up said the next 4 years I'm gonna lay low. Listen, man. I'm gonna tell you this. There's a lot of misconceptions about Donald Trump, and I'm not cheerleading for him, but there are a lot of misconceptions about that man, especially in terms of racism. That's got to get checked. It's got to get checked. Because not for nothing, I come from the old school. I'm 45 years old. I'm no new cat. I'm not new around the block here. I keep myself looking young, but I'm not. And I remember the words Donald Trump when they first came in, you know. And I remember my grandmother talking about this man. I remember other people in the world talking about this man. I remember rappers specifically invoking this man. And he inspired a lot of rappers today to become rich. I remember that. I remember that energy that everybody wanted to be rich like Donald Trump. Nobody, and I mean nobody during that time was talking racism when it came to Donald Trump. Nobody. Now, maybe we could talk pervert, maybe, I don't know, allegedly. And the stuff that he was doing with the Miss America pageants and all that. But racism, not a talking point. It wasn't until he started to run for president that that became a talking point. And that is a historical fact. So I always take that with a grain of salt. Nobody can just wave the I'm black and he's white flag in front of me and make me not like somebody. That's not my thing. Sorry. I am 100% pro black, but I'm not anti any other race, color, creed, ethnicity, or anything walking this planet because I know better. I know too much. Some of y'all will be surprised that some of the things that are oppressing you ain't even coming from people that don't look like you. But y'all don't know that. Anybody that immediately divorced that, oh, the white man this, the white man that, I automatically know you don't read. Like you don't know. You don't know what's going on because it ain't just that. There's a whole lot more variables in play, and it ain't just race. I promise you. Now, Bless Up said, nah, Trump after the gays and the Hispanics. I'm neither. Listen, Trump doesn't care about none of that. He don't care about none of that. Those aren't talking points that that he cares about. Now, it may be things that the Republican Party used to rebuttal the Democratic Party, but Trump as an individual, those are not things that he sits on. Trump is a businessman first. Okay, moral and ethical code is not his forte. He's just all about business. Whatever's going to bring a dollar in is what he's going to stand on. If you haven't figured that out by his moves, I don't know what else to tell you. You know, the best way to figure it out is to become a businessman. When you become a businessman, you start to see like, oh, this ain't got nothing to like. Because when you're a businessman, you're gonna buy and sell with whoever's making the best business deal. That's how that works. That's how that works. It's about who's making the best business deal. And most of us haven't studied the politics of America to understand what the best business deal practice is right now in this day and time. Okay, America is in trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of debt. And black folk is in here talking about reparations. It's like, are you ass retarded? That's not the conversation piece right now. Y'all asking for money that we don't have.
To this day. To this day.
You understand? Like, that's not the talking point. The talking point right now is how do we get America into a space where we can generate money to try and tackle this deficit? And Donald Trump was the only one talking that. He was the only one talking that talk. You know what I'm saying? When he's talking about making America great again, he's not talking about in terms of moral and ethical code. He's talking in terms of business and thriving economy. That's what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? But because we black, we immediately segue to racism and race as the talking point. And that's not the talking point. It's not. Okay? So that's why certain individuals lost their candidate as far as their election. And that's where you lost black men, because black men, we out here every day. We out here every day dealing with the economy. So it ain't hard for us to figure out what the motive is. You know? We understood the assignment. Black men understood the assignment. And that's why, we ended up where we were. So we no longer have this woman. We ain't gonna never hear this woman's name again. You can sit this goofy ass chick down, and y'all gonna have to swallow that jagged pill, because she never had a shot from the beginning. She lied to you. You know what I mean? That's it. Yeah, that's a black person's talking point. Eventually, you have to move past race, because the further higher up on the ladder you get, you're gonna realize that it ain't just the white people holding you back. I promise you that. You're gonna realize that the more you actually start to delve into it seriously. But most people don't delve into this information seriously. Okay. So now, with that being said, the election was over, and me and my bro, Lord Jamaar, we celebrated. We celebrated not because Donald Trump Donald Trump was in office, we celebrated because we knew we were correct. You understand? We knew we were correct the whole time, and we celebrated because we didn't crash out. You know what I'm saying? Um, when people disagree, they tend to crash out when nobody's listening. But me and my man, we stood 10 toes down and we did our research and we put together our content. We made sure that people knew what was going on. So that 20% of black people that knew what was going on and ran with the rest of the country was at least up. At least we got 20% of the black people to switch their vote and to walk away from the Democratic Party, for this go around, and they were vertically integrated early in the success of the country. You say, well, how did it help them? Well, some of them, delved into stocks and delved into Elon and what was going on. Those of you who missed the play, you missed the play. But that first week that he became president, there was a lot of plays popping off in crypto. A lot of plays popping off in crypto. And one thing about Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they be lobbing them plays, boy. They be lobbing them plays, So the reality is this, my man said, I don't want to hear no complaints the next 4 years. Listen, you ain't gonna hear nothing from me. That's for sure. You ain't gonna hear the next 4, the next 8, or the next 20. Why? Because I know that my future doesn't lie in their hands. And Donald Trump is the only one that was giving y'all the play on how to and showing y'all in real time. Like, yo, I don't dictate y'all lives. Donald Trump don't dictate your life. Neither does Kamala. If they're giving you that illusion that they do, that's a lie. They're not even controlling half of the things they even talking about. You understand? He don't dictate what your paycheck gonna look like next week. He don't dictate what job you're gonna get. He do not dictate none of that. That's all on you. So we don't look to him like I don't look to LeBron James for political fucking views. Pardon my French. I don't look to LeBron James for that. A lot of black people will do that. We'll look to a politician. We'll look to a athlete or a celebrity for political advice. Like what? What are we doing? Like LeBron James's opinion on who should be president should not matter to you in the slightest. In the slightest. You know what I mean? You should not be going to Meg the Stallion or wanting to know what J-Lo thinks as to who should become president. What the hell she has to do with you in your life at all? Is she working towards the liberation of black people? So what does it matter? You should be offended that she brought her up on the podium. It's just weird. But black people have this thing, like we do this. We do this. Even everything that I'm saying here, some people view me as a celebrity. Take that with a grain of salt. Everything that I say, take it with a grain of salt. Do your due diligence. If you do your due diligence and you do the work, you'll find that more in cases who's right or who's wrong because you did the work. But if you don't do the work, you just blindly following behind any and anybody because you like their song, because you like how they shoot a basketball. Use the fool.
To this day. To this day.
And that's why we laugh at people like that. That's why we go so hard. We'll mess with them. We straight called Kamala Harris a whole bitch because we knew we was going to make them mad. Get mad. I want you to get real mad.
To this day.
I want you to get mad. Because maybe then it'll make you just mad enough to go and do some damn research. You know how much advice I give people on stuff when they throw nonsense out and I give them advice and they get mad at me for the advice that I'm giving them? They get mad. They'll come to you for the advice and they get mad at the advice that you give them. That's why I don't just offer up knowledge to anybody. Boom, boom, boom. If they come to me and they ask, okay, that's one thing. But, folks will get mad at you for the advice that you give them and then run off like you did something foul to them. When You were in fact right the whole time because you did your damn research and they didn't want to do it. Ain't nobody finna, that is not going in 2025. I promise you that. You better think big. Think big, bitch. We not bringing that in 2025. Not with all this information floating around here freely. Half of the stuff that you ask questions on, you can literally just ask ChatGPT for free. Facts. You can literally just look it up yourself. We take the time to sit back and make a general consensus of everything that's going on and present it to you gift wrapped because that's how you like it. You won't take it any other way. Some people won't even research some people would not have researched any of the things that I said if I did not say it because it's just, they'll never get to that lane. It's not even in their interests. If a celebrity ain't talking about it, they don't want no parts of it. If CNN and Fox ain't talking about it, they don't want no parts of it. It's all conspiracy. And we allow people like that to stay idiotic and foolish. We pick up our scrolls and walk. We don't cast our pearls to swine. But what we will do is sit in a room full of smart people and build with them. We'll sit in a room full of scholars and build with them. We're not going to build with a fool. Because black people don't want symbolic victories no more. We want real victories. Church ain't cutting it no more. Nothing spooky is going to work anymore when you're dealing with black people. We want the real thing. That's where we at. So, Bless Up says we wasn't no closer to reparations with either candidate. That is 100% correct. 100% correct. So if you know that, right, and you have a candidate that is leaning on the reparations discussion, that should draw a red flag and be like, yo, why are you lying? Because you know you can't do that. Why are you lying? That's what made us not like Kamala. It wasn't because we just didn't like her, because they try to formulate like, oh, it's because she's black and we just don't like black women. Are you stupid? Are you listening to what she's saying? Are you listening to what she's saying? First off, you asked her outright what she's going to do for black people, and she said nothing. I don't think you listening. You know what I'm saying? We could just go off of that alone. She blatantly just told you she ain't with you. So we could start there if black versus white is your thing, because that ain't my thing, but that's your thing. And if that's your thing, I'm trying to figure out why the hell you rocking with her when she telling you she don't rock with black like that. Huh? And then as soon as we called her out on it, all of a sudden it became a big hush campaign as to whether or not, are you black? Then it's like, well, that's silly. I wash collard greens in the bathtub. Then she just started spewing lies. Y'all ain't seeing that? We saw it the moment it was coming out of her mouth. We shouldn't have had to explain that to y'all. But because we did, the ones that we did have to explain it to, we knew off the rip. We need not even talk to y'all. Y'all don't even know y'all not even a part of this situation. Your vote don't even count. Your influence don't matter. What you say don't matter because you're just going along with the status quo. You see? Ooh, Iris Ann. Honey, you need to write you a book. I'm willing to this Iris Ann, how old? You gotta be at least 50. Okay. I don't want to blow you on the spot like that, but you are wise. Because a statement like that is exactly what a wise person would say. I can't see anybody under than 20, even 30 younger saying something like this. If the truth was purchasable, some people would still buy lies. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. If the truth was purchasable, some people would still buy lies. The truth is purchasable. And guess what? It's free as well. And people are still buying the lies. That's just us. That's just us, you know. And I'm okay with it as long as you're doing that over there. Do the goofy stuff over there. Don't bring it to the scholarly realm. Don't bring it to the scholarly world. Keep the goofy with the goofies. Don't bring it to the ones who's really doing that work, authentic work that in any course of life will be accepted because it's true, right, and exact. Don't get mad at the scholars doing the work. The ones that put up money and take flights and go and pull out artifacts out of the ground or shoot rockets into space or went to med school. Don't get mad at these individuals because they're doing their due diligence. Because guess what? Even what you learn on YouTube ain't it. It ain't it. You got to do your own work. Something that we could go and look and we could say, yo, you on to something here. Who's the source? Me? Oh, really? How did you come to this conclusion? Show me the math. Show me the science. Show me demonstrate. You see? I ain't even talking people that just read books and regurgitate knowledge. They don't even qualify. There are people who literally, when we talking artifacts over in Egypt and pulling up ancient African artifacts, we have people like Anthony Browder, right? And his daughter, who literally walk inside of the tomb and pull out the artifact themselves. So when Tony Browder has to sit down and talk about his findings, do you think that he's giving you books of sources? Do you think Tony Browder is giving you books of sources, or is he pulling out pictures from his personal cell phone? Is he pulling up the actual artifact that he pulled up out of the ground? What do you think he's doing? He's an authentic scholar. So guess what? He doesn't have to reference his work with anybody. That's the type of research I'm talking about. That's the type of research I'm talking about. When you say the individual's name, you don't need to look any further because they're the ones that's doing the work. We have these people out here and they look like us. They value us. Okay? Talk about it. He does personal research. And then from there, before it gets presented to the public family, what many people don't know when you're dealing with science, they have what they call a peer review. Nothing in science is just thrown at you. That's unscientific. I'm going to say that again. Nothing in science is just thrown at you. That would be unscientific. It's no longer science at that point. In science, in order for it to come to the public, it has to first go through what we call a peer review. It's a season of peer review where you create your case study and then you present it to a bunch of people who now are on your level of intellect, and they go over your work and they critique your work. You want to know why you're not hearing Terrence Howard no more the way that you was a couple of months ago? Because he got peer reviewed by Neil deGrasse Tyson. You understand? And Neil deGrasse Tyson tore him a new asshole. Shout out to you, Iris. 50s, what I tell you? You can't be under 20, you can't be under 30 talking what you're talking. You're too wise. 50 plus 6, talk to him. That was a wise statement. You see what I'm saying? So when you go through these peer reviews, the peer reviews is like the dojo. It's the gym. It's where you got to take your punches before you go out to the public and get looked at crazy and humiliated. It prevents you from being ostracized out of the community. It gives you the ability to go back and redefine your work and tweak your work. That's a good thing. Peer review is a good thing, but people who want to pull a curtain over your eyes don't want to do the peer review part. They want to skip over that altogether, go straight to the internet, and let's just say, hey, I found the new thing. You know, I invented the new way of doing shit. A lot of times, the things that people thinking that they inventing have already been ran through, proven wrong many times over, and ought not to be told to anybody. We've already passed that. A lot of times, that's what happens. But people are not who are not scientists are trying to do scientific work and don't understand the rules of science. See what I'm saying? Scholars, historians, they all have it. That's right. Cheryl, they all have the same format as to how they do things, whether you're a scholar, a historian, a doctor, it don't matter. They all have to go through the peer review because they're all based on science. Archaeology is a science. Biology is a science. Right? We use science to uncover true, right, and exact history, like geography, anthropology. These are all aspects and branches of science. So you can't skip over that and say, yo, I'm a doctor, but I don't know biology or chemistry, psychology, physiology. They all end in ology. Ology meaning the prefix meaning the study of. Ology at the end of a word means the study of. So if you know the root word and you have the prefix attached to it, you know what they're studying. Astrology, study of the stars, right? Or what people call astronomy, right? Astrology is how the people relate to the stars, the relationship, right? Physics. People dedicate their lives to this stuff. So we have to be right and exact when we're talking this and we're trying to present it to the people. So and I do this with my scholarship as well as much as I possibly can. I'm not going to speak on something I don't know. You say, well, what are we talking about, Fat Joe and Lord Jamar? Why? Because I'm directly connected to it. I know Lord Jamar. I could be talking about a whole lot of other rappers in an extent, but I'm not doing that because I'm not connected to it. I don't know nothing about it. If it got something to do with me, I'm on it. You know what I mean? So I said I put them on to etymology, right? The study of words, right? Studying root words, prefixes. Etymology is super important because it reveals a lot of lies and secrets when you learn the etymology of a word. When you know the origin of a word, as etymology gives us, you can kind of figure out what it really meant. Saying, and that's right. Science and math never lie. These things are repeatable, right? You put them in a controlled environment where it's not a whole lot of variables in play, and you can see if it's real or not. We have things that we call placebos, where somebody can give you two different pills, one made of water and the other one made of whatever it's supposed to have in it. And we can compare and contrast to see if the person that took the water pill, who was told what the pill does, has the actual healing responses just the same as one who took the medicine. That's what the placebo effect does. You know what I'm saying? These are terms of science. If you don't know this type of stuff, you shouldn't be talking about science. This is stuff that we learned in like 6th to 9th grade, by the way. This ain't like, you know what I mean? This ain't collegiate level shit. This is stuff you should have learned from junior high school going into high school. You can't graduate high school without knowing this stuff. It's on your Regents exam. Real talk. So we got that going on. And so the start of December is when all the Lord Jamar and Fat Joe stuff start coming out. Now let me pull some of this stuff up I gotta pull this up because I gotta show y'all how this started. I don't think a lot of people know what happened with the Lord Jamar situation and how we got here, right? Like, people want to know, like, how did a conversation between Lord Jamar, or let's just say a squabble, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. How did we end up in a conversation about foundational Black Americans? Okay. So after the year in review, which I pretty much went over my whole year with y'all, we ended the year off with this. And I want to show y'all where this all began to give y'all clarity so that when people start talking about it, you can speak to it in truth, and not have to go with what people are just making up. You know what I'm saying? Because too much stuff has been made up. So now we have to deal with it the right way. Let me see if I can pull this up. This is where it all started, family. This is where the situation started between Fat Joe and Lord Jamar. Because old buddy came outside wearing this. Fat Joe came outside in the middle of the hood and he had this on. And the whole world, okay, now if y'all can see here, this is 152 weeks ago. 152. That's literally 3 years ago, y'all. 2022, January, almost to the T. Almost 3 years to the T. This fool came outside wearing this. And the whole world roasted this man. I remember very closely. Now, I don't know who you are, what man you are, say you are. If me and the homies is getting ready to go outside, and y'all see, I've worn stuff from Africa, Mozambique. I've worn stuff, cultural stuff, long piece kaftans and dashikis and all that kind of stuff. Okay? No way in hell am I allowed to walk outside like this and get in the car with my mans. Let's just start there. As soon as I would have walked outside in those boots, my man's would have been like, "What is that, bro? What? You supposed to roll up in the spot with us with that on, and a pink hoodie, and an undersized jacket, bro? Undersized pants and jacket." Timberland got to be rolling over his grave. Okay? Dude got his goddamn jeans tucked in his boot. Okay? In his boot made of, I don't know, polyester. I don't know. What is that? So not only was he being killed, he was being killed by everybody that knew anything about fashion. Everybody said, "No, Joe, that's not it," including Lord Jamar. Okay? And for some reason, Fat Joe got specifically offended at Lord Jamar saying it versus the rest of the world. That's what happened. He got offended by what Lord Jamar said and even called Lord Jamar and temperature checking, right? Like, yo, one of those type of situations. That's not cool. No, what you was wearing was not cool. Especially when you want to say that you hip hop. That's not cool. That's not it, bro. In any case, right? So he got mad at Lord Jamar for saying that. But the thing is, you didn't get mad at the rest of the world. You didn't get mad at 50 Cent, who trolled you. All Lord Jamar did was comment like everybody else. 50 did a whole video and roasted this man. And not only that, Fat Joe did a video about it and roasted himself. So, what does that tell y'all? So if you joking about it, the niggas that you scared of is joking about it, and you ain't never did nothing since 50 been killing you. His whole career since he came out been killing you, fat man. You never said nothing about 50 Cent. So you scared of 50 Cent. You never said nothing. He roasted you. The rest of the world roasted you. And you saw that it was so crazy that you even had to join in and roast yourself. Now here we are 3 years later. 3 years later, to this day.
To this day.
And you still upset at Lord Jamar? And you come out of the blue in a black barbershop and start talking about black people. Not only did you name drop Lord Jamar, but you started throwing in other black people. They ain't got nothing to do with this, by the way, because this is where it started. It started from the boots. You threw in foundational Black Americans, FBA, thinking that they was lightweight and they wasn't going to respond. Why? Because you figure if somebody's poorer than you, that means that your word means more. You thought because you are richer than the people that you are talking about, who you assume that you're richer than them, that for whatever reason, that gives you more value in hip hop, and now you have the ability to cancel legends. You didn't realize that it was going to turn around on you. And now you stuck with the consequences of seeing your ass get reamed. No homo. So if y'all wondering how this all started, this is how it started. It started from these boots, right? It started from these boots. And then it segued into that. Now, when he says foundational Black Americans, here's the thing what people don't know about the relationship between me and Lord Jamar. When he says that, I felt like he was talking about me, and I'm going to tell you why. These conversations that are being had are private conversations between me and Lord Jamar. Me and Lord Jamar talk every single day like clockwork about real things. About real things, like foundational Black American. How can you tell? If you look at the song, the first song that me and Lord Jamar did, it was called Build or Destroy. And if you watch the video, you can see in the video, the whole video is about the merging and coming together of Black and brown people, people that are indigenous to the land and people of African descent. That's what the music video is actually about. Watch it. So what does that mean? This conversation that you see in the whole world having is based off of a private conversation that me and Lord Jamar be having. This is why I'm very slow to say what I want to say here on the tube and things of that nature, because I know the power of my words. I know what I'm looking at. Y'all don't know what y'all looking at. Y'all don't even know how it started. Y'all just know that it's here. I'm telling you how it started. And this is how it started. And the reason why Fat Joe feels some type of way is because the only people that are a threat to him and his establishment is us. If you can get the words of foundational Black Americans out of the picture, it makes him look like him and his Puerto Rican friends started hip hop. And it's crazy. It's crazy because there's so many ways to disprove this. I don't even know where to start, but I'm sure most of you already know. If you're on my feed, you already know that it's a damn lie. Okay? Now, were Puerto Ricans there? Absolutely. Right? Anybody that you see trying to make it seem like Lord Jamar said otherwise, like he said that Puerto Ricans weren't there at all, they're being disingenuous. because he mentioned very, very clearly that they were there and they were instrumental. They were the first ones to the party, but they're not the ones who were throwing the party. They're not the ones who were throwing the party. Okay? And there's so many factors that you can look at in hip hop, just the results and the fruits that hip hop has given birth to. You can name on one hand, Puerto Ricans who were rappers killing hip hop and running hip hop. You had to go to these Puerto Ricans in order to even get in. You can name on one. There ain't none. There ain't none. How is he talking about how they started hip hop, but yet yet at the same time he's talking about how they were gatekeeping hip hop? If you didn't start it, how the hell were you able to gatekeep it? If you didn't build hip hop, how are you the ones that's gatekeeping it? If you are the ones who are the most influential and in control, how are they keeping you out? And it showed itself as soon as you said that, because you end up getting canceled instantly. How come Puerto Rico ain't holding you down and making sure that doesn't happen? Because they don't have the power. Get out of here. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to play those games with Fat Boy. But we're going to make sure that y'all know how this started. And this is where it started. Okay? And no, Lord Jamar did not call him out. He called out Lord Jamar. Lord Jamar responded, and he ended up getting himself canceled. Because that's what happens when you start shit. When you start shit, then people start to look at you, and they say, well, what about you? And he didn't pass the brown paper bag test. That's all. Moon boots. That's all this man brought to the game. Because he didn't write his own raps. He tried to say Lord Jamar was the wackest one in his group. Right? Right? Yeah, he knew he messed up then. Right? He tried to say Lord Jamar was the wackest one in his group, and he don't even write his raps. Fat Joe don't write his raps. Newsflash, if you did not know. And we all know the people who wrote his raps, even his first raps. You got to flow, Joe. That wasn't him. That was somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And the song was about somebody teaching him how to rap. You got to flow, Joe. You got to flow. You got it. Right? Right. He was teaching him how to flow because Fat Joe can't rap. So the reason why he's so up in arms is because the only thing that he brought to the game was a sense of fashion. That part. If you had to ask me what Puerto Ricans bring to the game and Hispanics in general, is the wave of baseball caps, like the Yankee caps, and the sneaker collection game. Because a lot of them were running the sneaker stores and the garment stores and stuff like that. So they brought to the game how to dress, but it's not because they were dressing fly. They were selling the goods. We knew what to wear. Because Fat Joe would walk in the spot and walk out with that. He'll walk in the store and walk out with that. So black people brought the sauce, the flavor, and the whole creation right out the gate. If you was not falling in line with the protocol of what black people was doing in the early days of hip hop, you was not getting in. You was not getting in. You would have been excommunicated from the hip hop circle. You'd have gotten the party and quickly escorted out. But what happened was, digging in the craze, DITC, Terror Squad, all that. These guys have relationships with the culture of black hip hop that started to segue into commercialism. Now let's really delve into it. If you look at Fat Joe, you notice like he would hang with guys like, Puff and, other people, right? And these are the people that introduced to the game of hip hop record sales and placing value on an artist based on how many records they were selling. Okay, when Puff came out with Mace and all these guys, it was all about going platinum. Before that, you never heard that word before. Platinum was not a word in hip hop until you saw Puff Daddy. These are all these sexual degenerates in hip hop, and all the ones that turn hip hop into something that it wasn't meant to be. Once Puff came in, and the player hated degrees came in, and Mace, everybody started paying attention to who's going platinum, who's going gold, who's selling what. And with him, it was a saving grace because he was making money so he could disguise himself as being influential behind his money. That's why when it's time to have these conversations, he brings up money. Oh, that person's broke, or this person's broke, and that person, that's the new racism. This person's broke, that person's broke. This is what he'll do. This is when people who have no substance, when they get into trouble, they automatically start talking the money talk. See what I'm saying? They automatically start talking the money talk. Cheryl Lee said, ain't no F 50-50. That's right, because there's only one father. That idea came out of one person's head. It wasn't two people at the same time thinking the same idea like, ding, ding, yes, we did it 50-50. No, that's not how it happened, bro. It came from one black brother who invented it. Whether you want to deal with that, whether you want to deal with scratching, who was the first DJ to scratch, that dude wasn't Puerto Rican. Huh? The first person to invent turntables and scratch on that was not a Puerto Rican. Stop the cap. Okay? Otherwise, they'd have been spinning Puerto Rican records. Otherwise, they'd have been sampling Puerto Rican records left and right. That's all you would have heard was Puerto Rican records being sampled. No, they were sampling nothing but black shit. And still to this day, they kind of stick to that. It ain't a whole bunch of plethora of Puerto Rican records as samples floating around here compared to black records. You kidding me? James Brown is the #1 sampled artist of all time. That is a historical fact. That's not my opinion. There's nobody who has sampled more records than James, who has had more records sampled than James Brown. And James Brown ain't Puerto Rican. So why would a Puerto Rican be sampling a whole bunch of James Brown records when they Puerto Rican? Why they ain't sampled the Puerto Rican records? We could go on and on, but we're not going to play this game. We're going to stick to Fat Boy here. Okay? Because he played himself. And there comes a time where, you know, when somebody comes into school and they shoot at the school, at some point you're going to have to put metal detectors out front to keep the derelicts from coming in and talking dumb shit. How come Joe didn't show this picture? He talking about everything else but this picture in the moon boots. We ain't seen them boots since. We ain't seen the moon boots in 152 weeks. Listen, I'm wrapping this up in 7 minutes. I promise. We've been on for almost 2 hours. I'm wrapping this up because all I had to do was tell y'all the truth. When you tell the truth, everything else just becomes clear. Then you start seeing why people act the way that they act. Okay? Because at the same time this was happening, Crazy Legs was trying to say that because he was a breakdancer, yeah, he's the one they're the people that created hip hop. It was a bunch of Puerto Ricans. No, it wasn't, my nigga. Shut your goofy ass up. It definitely wasn't. Okay? You were breakdancing to what music? Puerto Rican music? What was you breakdancing to? Because you couldn't start breakdancing until the music was made. And the music wasn't Puerto Rican music. It was black music. In fact, it was called jungle music. Why did they call it jungle music? Who were the people that represented the jungle? All right. Like we had Jungle Brothers. Were they Puerto Rican? Was the Jungle Brothers Puerto Rican? It's a lot of people talking this, but people don't know. See what I'm saying? Everybody ain't attached to it. They talking about us, though. They talking about my crew. Just know that. Everything that you see, this FBA, Lord Jamar, they talking about my crew. And I just stayed silent. I let it play out. Because we was smoking them all year. Okay. So Lord Jamar got an album coming out. Fat Joe's supposed to be doing a New Year's ceremony or whatever. So he's trying to draw a lot of attention to himself because he's supposed to do the New Year's rocking New Year's Eve probably tonight. And those things got to play out. But he's been canceled. As far as hip hop is concerned, he's the latest to be canceled. As far as Math Hoffa and all of that, I'm sure he would tell you himself that it took a lot of stripes off his jacket by allowing Fat Joe to say all them types of niggas in front of him like that and not stop him. It took a lot of stripes off of Math Hoffa's jacket as a black person to sit there and watch those things. And what it also did was it exposed the difference between West Indian culture and black culture, because Math Hoffa is West Indian. An authentic black person, a foundational black person, would not allow somebody like that to talk about black people in front of them. They might have ran up in his mouth. But because Math Hoffa is West Indian, you can see the differences between West Indian culture and black culture. Black culture is a culture all in itself, and it is separate from West Indian culture. Remember when people were trying to say, oh, Kamala is black because she's Jamaican? Not necessarily. Understand that. Even if her father was saying, okay, was gravitating towards Jamaica, it's still not the same culture as black African culture. It's still not the same culture as foundational black American culture. Jamaicans have a flag. They have a language. They have their own sound, their own music. They have it all, their own accent. It is not the same as a black person born and raised here in America. They themselves will tell you that. And even West Indians wave their flags individually. They consider themselves West Indian, but Jamaicans stick to being Jamaicans. They don't try to be Trinidadians. Huh? They stay in a lane and they wave their flag proudly. So we're not buying anything else. We know what's up. We know what's up, and you can't fool us. But a lot of people are trying to reinvent history. They're trying to retell history in a way that's inaccurate. They're trying to whitewash things. And even in the Hispanic culture, there are people that they may be Puerto Rican, but some of them gravitate towards white culture. Because when Puerto Ricans want to leave their culture, they don't go to black culture primarily, they go to white culture. And the same thing in most Hispanic countries. When they're Dominican, I've been in Dominican, built several homes in Dominican Republic. And Dominicans, when they decided they want to leave their culture, they end up going white. And Dominicans will tell you that, yeah, we have people in our culture that they act like they white. On their job application, they probably fill out white. Their culture is more white than anything. So understand that black culture is very, very unique. It's a very unique set of circumstances of individuals who had gone through the slave trade, okay? And they have direct descendants that tie directly to those events. Not everybody went through that. It's about a lineage. Even in black culture, not everybody went through that. Some of them here were native, and they got turned into black, but they were native. They had a tribe, they had a language, they had a culture, they had all of that. So, when you know better, you do better. And you have a better understanding and rendering so that when these things happen, you can better understand how it's going to play out. So with that being said, so that y'all are not getting confused, I think we had a great year. 2024 doesn't owe me anything. It doesn't owe me a damn thing. And I can't wait to go into 2025 and do what I do. We're coming on the 2-hour mark. I appreciate everybody that came on here and show love. I appreciate everybody that's here that stayed to the end. And yeah, like, share, comment if you haven't already. Make sure you smash that button down at the bottom. Subscribe if you haven't, because like I said, my plays that I'm about to start doing here, y'all, we're going to stick with YouTube on this, and yeah, we're gonna make a lot of noise because they scared now. They running scared of your boy, and I don't know why I gave them a pass to be cool, but now I got to tell it like it is, and I got to come out here and start voicing my opinion on what I see that's going on. You know what I'm saying? I gotta put it out here because all of the liars in the community gonna got exposed now. All the fraudulent people in the community and the scammers, they all got exposed now. So I can move around freely. And don't have to worry about these guys anymore. Because these guys had a grasp on just like scamming the people's minds, and it's wild. So with that being said, listen, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I got new music coming out, staying out the way. Out the way, I'm dropping early this quarter. It'll be dropping by the end of this month for sure. A new project or EP y'all can expect early first quarter, like I always do, and we're gonna go on that run again. And smash these because they can't do nothing with Jamaar Milton. Like, I don't know. They can't do nothing with your boy in hip hop. And we're gonna keep smashing them. So I appreciate y'all that's been loving and supporting on me and that comes out to the shows. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to see y'all. So come on in. I promise you I ain't gonna let y'all down. We're gonna do this thing. We're gonna continue to do this thing the way we've been doing it. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, let me get this clown out of here. Stop the screen share. We gave him enough promo for today. Yeah, the radical black racists. Yeah, like black people can be racist. Like it just shows you how ignorant this guy is, right? Like, how do you let's put that out there. He said the radical black racist remark that Hoffa didn't address. That got me too, because it's like black people can't be racist. We don't have the infrastructure to commit oppression upon anybody. So black people by design, we can't be racist. It's impossible. So when you see people saying stuff like that, that makes you a racist, bro. Especially when you're not black. So I love y'all. Divine force in me greets divine force in you. May you manifest every heart's desire. Ashe, 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 ashe. And peace. We outside. I'm about to drop some music, matter of fact. New music, stayed out the way. Dropping early this quarter. Get ready. Woo, woo.
Stay out the way. Stay out the way. Never forget. As I implement the discipline, stay in your ground and you say, she ain't raised a fool. My mama proud of me too. Told me that raising a tool don't finish it. Don't make me take you to school. But still it get shook when you get the looks.
Turn me up.
And they get the book. If I'm on the band, they mad at me cook. Stay out the way. Stay out the way. Success make them hate dogs. So stay out the way. Stay out the way. Stay out the way. Success make them hate, dog, but I'm out the way. I'm prioritizing my peace with positive vibes around me. Grounded, provide for the seeds. Trying to survive in the streets. Feel like you're dying to breathe. Climbing through weeds. Type of thing irony breeds. How can one line succeed? I'd rather rely on me. I cannot rely on he who can set me free. My frequency clean and the aura supreme. Spirit serene, I'm a soul machine. Composed of the drum with the coldest lean. Moving around like I know the scene. Uplifting vibe with the flow is me. Anyone close to me know it's a dream. Me mixing the crowd, it don't go with the theme. You know what I mean? Stand out the way. Stand out the way. Success make them hate, dog. So stand out the way. Stand out the way. Stand out the way. Success make them hate, dog. But I'm out the way. Over here.